Field Agent is the gig app that I made by far the most amount of money with. And if you follow these 5 tips, you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time with this amazing app. And number one is to be discreet. When I first started doing this, it was right around when I got my first iPad. And I actually did my first gig with the iPad. So I was there looking like a crazy person, taking pictures with my iPad standing out like a sore thumb. And then also I would ask the staff, I would ask them, I would say, if I was looking for the cereal or something, I would say, excuse me, I'm doing an audit and I need to know where the cereal is. And then the manager, whoever, would be like, you're doing an audit. Do you have ID? What company are you from? Our policy doesn't allow you to take pictures in our store. Can you please leave? Now, not only did this waste my time that I could have been spending doing another gig or another app, it's also kind of embarrassing and completely unnecessary. Field Agent does not require you to interact with the staff. Other apps such as Observa tells you to wear appropriate attire and that you're going to have to be in contact with the employees. Field Agent does not. You are undercover, so just look like you are a customer. Everybody these days is on their phone, so when you're taking your pictures, don't do the selfie stance and look like a photographer. Just look like you're texting, looking for coupons. You're on your phone like everybody else. Get in and get out. Next tip is going to be competitive. This is a competitive app. So what I mean by that is if I do the CVS, a $5 gig at the CVS 10 minutes from my house, then someone else in my area that wanted to do that gig cannot do it. It is first come, first serve. So if I reserve that one and do it, I make the $5, someone else doesn't. So to be competitive with this app, it's pretty simple. You just have to refresh a lot. Now, there were so many times where I was doing a gig at, let's say, Sam's Club, and I thought there was one gig, and on my way walking out of the store, when I refreshed the app, there was 2 or 3 more gigs, and I ended up doing 3 or 4 gigs instead of just one. So keep refreshing. The gigs drop out of nowhere all the time throughout the day. So just, if you want to get ahead in this app, just be on it. When you're not doing anything, just refresh. And if you see one that you're going to do, grab it. This app gives you 4 hours to complete the gig. So if you think you're going to be able to get to that gig within the 4 hours, then reserve it. Reserve all the ones you could get. And then before you leave your house, make your route, and then go do it in an efficient manner. But this app is competitive, and also don't do what I do because I'm obsessed with these apps. I think it's just such an amazing opportunity. So the only thing I talk about is these apps. So when I'm with people or meet someone new, I would tell them, oh, check out Field Agent. You can make a lot of money. And then I just had more competition in my area. Actually, when I first started talking to my now wife, she was my competition because I told her about this app, and then she would go do the ones that I would do, and we kind of got to a fight. Now we laugh about it, but don't tell anyone about the gig. It is competitive, and that's also why I started this channel, so I could talk about these apps without just creating competition in my area. Next one is you gotta know when to hold it and when to fold it. What I mean by this is some of these gigs on the app are really hard to do, or they take too long for the amount that it pays, or I just done that specific gig a lot of times and they got denied. This app is judged by real human eyes. So if you do a gig one, 2, or 3 times and it got denied and it just seems impossible and it's just not worth your time, you have to go through all these different aisles and it's just not convenient and you don't make money, just don't do it. Memorize or write it down. I think there's like a cookies, crackers, and wholesome snacks. And it was just really hard to find the wholesome snacks aisle and all this stuff. And it wasn't worth the $4 for me. So I just kept in mind that those gigs I just don't do and completely ignore it. So if there is a gig that doesn't work for you specifically, that you're not comfortable doing and that you can't do in an efficient time, just don't do it. And then also don't think that everyone on the app is like that. If the first couple of ones you do, keep trying the app because you'll find some gigs that pay $5 or $6 that are literally like walking in and out of the store and that are definitely worth it. So know which ones to do and know which ones not to do. This is very important and this will help you so much. And now, number 5, this is the most important because I tell people that you can make a decent full-time living doing field agent, but in order to do that, you're going to have to leverage and combine it with other apps. So you're allowed to do as many apps as you want. It's an independent contractor. There's no one watching you. You could do what you want. So let's say you found 5 field agent gigs for the day. That's not going to be enough to make a full-time income. But then if you combine it with other apps that I recommend, like GigWalk, now you could do 2 gigs on GigWalk that day. And then Moby, you could do 3 or 4 gigs on Moby. There's always a lot of gigs on Moby. And then there's other apps. There's new ones coming out like Pickle and Observer that you could do and then fill up your day with. And then also, if you're comfortable with it, you could do delivery apps like Uber Eats. So what I would do is I'll turn on Uber Eats and then I'll head towards my first gig. And if I get an Uber Eats order before I get to the gig, I'll do the Uber Eats and then get back to the gig. So this way you're not sitting around doing nothing. You are working for the full time that you left your house. And that is how you can make a full-time income. Also, you could do other passive income side hustles too, like YouTube channels and affiliate marketing, but those are going to take longer to set up. So while you are setting those up, and for the long term, in the short term, you can make your income cover your bills by doing these apps. But just don't think that you could do it with Field Agent alone. You have to combine it with other apps. So check out these videos over here where I show you other apps that I recommend to combine with Field Agent.